Let's talk about Deadman's Road by Joe R. Lansdale. This is a compilation of a short novel called Dead in the West and 4 other short stories. It also has an 8-page introduction. This is Deadwood meets The Walking Dead in this wild and profane western romp featuring zombies, werewolves, killer bees and one pissed off gunslinging preacher. The Wild West has never seen the like of Reverend Jebediah Mercer, a hard man wielding a burning Bible and a bottle of whiskey in the battle between God and the devil. Frankly, he's not sure he gives a damn who wins. And the not-so-good Reverend tangles with a vengeful shaman and his undead army, joins a renegade named Flower to battle a horde of cannibalistic fiends. Only this is certain: Mercer's blasphemous journey is laced with relentless action, terrifying evil and non-stop humour. The supernatural epic of the Old West that never was will leave you heartily cheering for the good guys if you can just figure out who the good guys are. It calls itself dark fantasy on the back. Yeah, it's a horror western. One of my, I'll be talking about this soon actually on the channel, one of my favourite role-playing games and settings for a role-playing game is Deadlands, which is a horror western. And fantasy western, things like the Wild Wild West, that's great, that's really fun. I'm a fan of this. This I had more ambivalent feelings about, and I enjoyed having read it. I enjoyed bits of it. There were things, and there are basically a couple of the stories I thought were really good, and then and others I thought were okay. It ended up feeling like a mediocre read, despite being possibly technically slightly better than that, just due to the accumulation of little problems and nagging habits. Yeah, basically the best stuff about it is the envisioning of this dark, fantastic Wild West. I think the range of villains or monsters, as I said, there's 5 stories. And in those 5 stories, you've got vampires and zombies. You've got weird, sort of, I don't know, ghouly figures with evil bees. You've got werewolfy type things. You have demons or devils or something, well, demons, I guess. And you have goblins or kobolds. You have kind of, another intelligent species living in the depths of the earth. Those are the villains. This is great. This is fun. He depicts them really well. There's an incredibly strong aesthetic around them. The sort of the magic of those monsters works well. And on the whole, there is a thing where I think in 3 of the stories there is some discussion of like either Indian graveyards or Indian legends and conquistadors. That's literally out 3 of the stories, and that is perhaps a problem. But then the other 2 do not have that. So he is the action is pretty solid action writing. I like the I like some of the kind of connections and interactions that Mercer has with supporting characters. There's often just some degree of success in kind of connecting with supporting characters, so he depicts that kind of stuff well. There is, let's call it a lesser issue, because in the end you just rattle through it. They're very pulpy stories, and so they're quick to read at least. You're not getting caught up on stuff you don't like as much. But the smaller problem is that his style, and some of that is just the editing, but the style is, even in the later stories, because Dead in the West is from the 80s, the others are from the noughties, 2007 to 2010. And yeah, I think the fact that, you have over 20 years go by, the style hasn't improved greatly. It is a very simple, homely style, and I think you can get a kind of odd sort of snobbery there. You think, oh, well, you're saying, it's just not complex enough. No, what I mean is it's just missing commas at points in sentences that need them, and maybe you blame that on an editor, but I think when it's a repetition, you're talking about something where, whether or not it's the editor's fault, is something in the author, that the author just, I think, is lacking tools. That's a smaller issue, because mostly it's fine. It's perfectly readable. It's just that you think, this could be, I guess it strikes me, this could be a great book. You've got the imagination there, but there is a tool set thing which is missing, which makes it much more workaday. My bigger problem is, or my bigger 2 problems, and they are connected. One is a sort of a leeching cynicism, particularly apparent through the middle 3 stories, but frankly they're in the 1st and the 5th as well. This leeching cynicism and negativity And I don't mean, oh, it's dark, it's grim darker, and but I mean this kind of slightly, there is a way in which this stuff is paint thinner. An utterly bleak take on everything becomes tiresome if it doesn't become soul sapping. And some people might love that, but I'm just saying that's a problem. This does connect, and I think it's not actually chiefly caused by this, though it connects to it. It's chiefly caused actually just by the fact that Mercer is an unattractive character. He's meant to be, but we're also kind of meant to agree with the things he's unattractive about. And I'm like, you can't have both. Like, if he's an unappealing character, it has to at least partly be because he's fundamentally wrong about some basic things. Unless you're saying, hey, he's unappealing, but he's right, so maybe you should all become... This is what I mean. If that's the case, then in fact it's basically an evil book, isn't it? If it's saying, no, you should all become bleak, cynical, awful people who hate everything. Like, that's just bad. But, like, I don't assume that's what's going on. I think we're meant to see there is potential good, but it's so under threat and so easily destroyed. And that human evil causes that as well. And that's, there's a nuance there. But I think the kind of, the way in which that comes across is connected to, but is not caused chiefly by, or it is only partly caused by, the way in which ultra-violence is depicted. And I don't mind a bit of gruesomeness, I can cope with that. So it's not even the fact that some stuff is gruesome, it's more that there is a certain, it's not just violent gruesomeness, it's other kinds of gruesomeness too. There's a certain lurid, leering element to do with just like disgusting stuff, which I'm just like, I don't think I can be comfortable with that. I don't think many people can be. Some people will be, they're like, man, I love that. I mean, all power to you, but this is the book for you. But there are a couple of moments of genuinely discomforting stuff that you think, this is weird, and I don't know why someone would write it. There is, in the way that it's been written, we're not talking about the kind of, it's too much, it's too winking to simply be the depiction of evil. But yes, I came away with profoundly mixed feelings on this. I'm going to be reviewing a few other fantasy westerns in the next few weeks, and I think we'll have a more interesting discussion about those, more positive discussion. This is, as I understand it, quite an important book in that kind of, call it the Weird West genre on the Noted Deadlands, the Weird West genre, and it has some really good elements in it. As I say, I'd say Gentleman's Hotel and Crawling Sky, I mostly just enjoyed those. They were gruesome at points, they were violent, they had that degree of cynicism, maybe to an exaggerated, unnecessary extent, but they were good. And the other stories were okay at best. But yeah, if you've read it, I'd love to know what you think. As I say, I understand it to be a relatively important entry in the genre. I came away with mixed feelings. But anyway, please tell me what your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.